They came at dawn. Helios colony, humanity's pride on the edge of the Perseus arm, awoke to fire raining from the heavens. The skies turned to molten glass as orbital bombardments ripped through the city domes. Oceans boiled. Forests evaporated. Millions of civilians, scientists, and children vanished into plasma and dust within hours. The attackers called themselves the Zetherian Dominion, a proud, ancient species that had ruled half the quadrant through fear and conquest. To them, Earth was a young, fragile species, a civilization of poets and diplomats, soft from their own peace. On the bridge of the Zetherian flagship Valkaris, High Warlord Drazkul watched the planet burn through the viewport. His talons drummed against the armrest as he smiled. "Mark this day," he hissed. "The Terrans built a world here, and today it dies beneath the Dominion's will. Let them know, resistance against Zetherian decree is extinction." The officers around him roared approval. When the last signal from Helios colony fell silent, Drazkul transmitted across every known Terran frequency. "To the humans of Earth, your outpost defied our claim. It is no more. You have no fleets that can match ours, no armies that can withstand us. Surrender your outer colonies and accept subservience, or share Helios's fate." Then he cut the channel, laughing. They believed that would be the end of it. They did not yet understand what they had awakened. The Dominion's mockery weeks passed. No Terran fleets appeared. No response came from Earth. The Dominion celebrated. On their capital world, processions filled the streets. Holographic banners displayed the burning of Helios, and poets sang of the day humanity bowed. Across the council chambers of the Dominion, one phrase echoed: "The Terrans are pacifists. They lack the will for vengeance." To them, humanity's silence was submission. Ambassadors from other alien races, fearful of Dominion wrath, whispered their condolences to humanity, believing the humans would retreat, rebuild, and hide behind diplomacy. Even among the Dominion's upper command, some began to joke that humanity's greatest weapon was words. Drazkul, now adorned in gold and crimson armor forged from Helios's melted metals, addressed the Dominion Senate. "Earth will fall without a single battle. They know what we are, ancient, ruthless, inevitable. They will not dare to strike back." The chamber thundered with applause, and far away, on the blue marble they mocked, Earth remained silent. But deep beneath the oceans and in the black void beyond Pluto's orbit, the silence was not peace. It was preparation. When Earth spoke again, the Dominion's overconfidence was shattered 3 months later. It began with a whisper. Intercepted signals, encrypted beyond comprehension, spreading through deep space relays. The Dominion's listening posts detected strange movement near Sol system. Ships vanishing from registry. Energy spikes beyond known reactor limits. Then, the Helios transmission appeared. Across every Dominion frequency, the message cut through. A distorted human voice speaking in perfect Zetherian dialect. "This is Admiral Elias Rourke of the Terran Defense Command. To the Zetherian Dominion, we have seen your declaration of our doom. Now you will see yours." The voice was calm, measured, cold. Before the transmission ended, a string of coordinates appeared. They matched the location of Zetherian Forward Command Base 7, orbiting an uninhabited moon near the galactic rim. Then the signal died. The Dominion laughed, at first. They sent patrols, confident it was a bluff. But when their fleet arrived at Base 7, they found only debris. Twisted metal drifting through the void. Each hull plate scorched with a single symbol burned deep into the alloy. The ancient Terran emblem for retribution. Hours later, 3 more Dominion stations went dark. Then 7, then 12. Something unseen moved through the darkness. Silent, efficient, unstoppable Earth's hand uncloaked. When the first images emerged, the galaxy gasped. The Terran Retribution Fleet, thought to be theoretical, an experimental force, was real. Over 2,000 warships of unknown design emerged from stealth at the edge of Dominion space. They bore no bright colors or insignias, only matte black hulls with faint blue glows beneath the armor. Ships built not for show, but for annihilation. Each vessel carried rail cannons that could pierce moons, swarm drones that darkened the stars, and gravitic warheads capable of imploding entire fleets. At their center was the flagship, TDS Nemesis, a dreadnought so massive that its shadow eclipsed the Dominion suns as it passed. Its captain, Admiral Rourke, transmitted one message to every Dominion frequency. By order of the United Terran Assembly, This is not war. This is justice. The retaliation began. Dominion fleets scrambled to respond, but their tactics, centuries old and built for intimidation, faltered against Terran precision. Human ships struck without warning, appearing and vanishing like phantoms. Every command ship that had participated in Helios's destruction was found and obliterated within 48 hours. Their destruction was broadcast live, not for pride, but for proof. Humanity had learned their technology, studied their weaknesses, and evolved beyond them in silence. Where the Dominion had armies, Earth had strategy. Where the Dominion had pride, Earth had purpose, and purpose is deadlier than pride. The day the stars went dark. Decisive moment came at the Battle of Zetherian Prime. The Dominion assembled everything they had: 700 warships, 3 planetary defense grids, and the warlord Drazkul himself commanding from orbit. They were confident still, desperate but defiant. When the Terran fleet arrived, it did not emerge from hyperspace as expected. Instead, it fell from fold space, surrounding the entire star system in a vast ring of fire. Thousands of ships appeared simultaneously, their engines forming a halo of blue light around Zetherian Prime. For the first time in millennia, the Dominion trembled. "Engage!" Drazkul screamed. "They cannot take us all!" But the human fleet did not answer with words. They answered with annihilation. The Nemesis's spinal cannon fired once. A beam of condensed gravitic energy that tore through space itself, shearing an entire Dominion armada in half. Shockwaves rippled across the void, melting smaller vessels in an instant. Orbital defense platforms tried to respond, but precision kinetic strikes punched through their shields like paper. Swarm drones poured from Terran carriers, each the size of a fighter craft, blotting out the skies in metallic storms. Within hours, the Dominion's orbital fleets were gone. Then, humanity descended upon the planet itself. Drop pods rained from the heavens, millions of them, carrying the Terran shock divisions. Soldiers clad in adaptive armor, faces hidden, eyes burning with cold resolve. The Dominion's ground armies tried to resist, but every resistance point was neutralized in seconds. Cities burned, not with fire, but with silence, as EMP waves erased all trace of Dominion control. When the Terrans reached the capital citadel, Drazkul's last transmission echoed across the shattered world. We were promised they would surrender." His words were cut short as a plasma lance pierced the citadel's spire. The Dominion fell. See. Silence after the storm. When it was over, the galaxy watched in stunned silence. The once mighty Zetherian Dominion, rulers of 1,000 systems, was gone. Its homeworld reduced to ash and glass, its fleets annihilated. Humanity did not colonize their worlds. They did not enslave their people. They simply left. Across the stars, Terran ships broadcast a final message before returning to Sol. "This is Earth. We do not start wars, but we end them." Then, silence. Weeks later, in the ruins of Zetherian Prime, the surviving species of the galaxy gathered to witness the aftermath. Where cities once stood, only craters and molten rivers remained. A few surviving Zetherians whispered among themselves, broken and trembling. "We declared their doom," one murmured, "and met our own." The phrase spread, whispered first in fear, then in reverence. Trade routes shifted, treaties reformed. No one dared raise a hand against humanity again. Even the most ancient empires spoke of Earth in hushed tones, not as conquerors, but as a force of balance. A reminder that beneath their calm diplomacy and gentle words lay something vast and terrible. A will forged in pain, a vengeance measured not in rage, but in resolve. 7. The lesson of Earth centuries later. The story of Helios colony became legend. Children on distant worlds learned it as a warning. Never provoke Earth. Historians called it the Day of Reckoning. Strategists studied Terran tactics, but none could replicate the precision, the cold fury, or the unity that humanity had displayed. And still, no one truly understood how the Terrans built such a fleet so quickly, or where it went after the war. Some claimed they disassembled it, swearing never to use it again. Others whispered that the Retribution fleet still waits, hidden in the black between galaxies, ready to awaken should humanity ever be threatened once more. For in the silence of space, Earth remembers not out of hatred, not out of pride, but because the lesson must never be forgotten. To declare Earth's doom is to meet your own. Aid. Epilogue. The Echo in the Voidon. The outer edge of the Milky Way, long after the Dominion's ashes cooled, a small probe drifted through the dark. It carried a single recording, a transmission from the Nemesis before it vanished into deep space. The message was simple. To whoever finds this, we were not made for vengeance, but we will never allow cruelty to go unanswered. Remember Helios, remember Earth. The probe continued into the endless night, its signal pulsing faintly through the void. A heartbeat of a specie.